Hey everyone, it's Kaylin and thanks so much for visiting my channel. Today I have a full body Pilates beginner workout for you. But first I wanted to mention if you're interested in supporting this channel so I can continue to provide these free videos, go ahead and check out the link in the description below. I'm so thankful for this entire community and really appreciate you all so very much. So thank you again. Let's go ahead and get started into this beginner Pilates workout. So if you are a beginner, this is going to really move pretty slowly so that you can really feel the connection into the core and the proper alignment and movement in the exercise. If maybe you are not a beginner and are just coming into here to get a reminder of the basics and the foundational exercises, this is a great place to come back to. I always love coming back to these beginner exercises and principles. So happy to have you here. Everybody's gonna lay on their back first. So go ahead and come onto your back. Bring your arms down by your sides and your feet are gonna be flat. Now, we're just gonna start with some easy breathing. I want you to take your hands and you're gonna place them on your rib cage. So one hand on each side. And I want you to first release any tension in the hips and the pelvis. So sometimes what happens is we tend to, squeeze the glutes here and tense the hip flexors. See if you can release all that so everything is just nice and relaxed. Same with the shoulders as well. So what you're going to do here is take a deep breath in by breathing into the hands, into the ribs. So inhale, and then exhale, we let it go. Good, let's do that again. Deep breath in, inhale, and exhale. So we're going to do that 2 more times. So when we're breathing into the rib cage, we're thinking of breathing side to side and front to back. Good, exhale, release. And last one, deep breath in, inhale. And exhale, let it go. All right, now bring your arms down by your sides. We're gonna continue with the breath, but add what we call pelvic rocking. So we're gonna take an inhale here, breathe into those ribs. Exhale, pull the belly button down towards the mat as you flatten your low back into the floor and then lift the pubic bone and tailbone up. And then inhale back to neutral. And exhale, flatten the low back, lift that tailbone just a little bit, pull the belly button down, inhale back to neutral. Good, exhale. And inhale. Good, a few more, exhale. Good, inhale. This is also a great lower back exercise. If you tend to be tight in your low back, especially maybe when you first wake up in the morning or if you've been sitting a lot during the day, this is a great exercise to just get some mobility in that lower spine. Good, let's do one more. Exhale. Good, and inhale here. All right, so we are gonna find what we call a neutral spine and neutral pelvis. Neutral pelvis is where the pelvis is very flat and you're imagining you have a cup of coffee sitting on that pelvis and you don't want to spill it, so it needs to stay in that flat position. So what we're going to do here is keep that pelvis in that position and start to bring both legs up into tabletop. All right, so shins are parallel to the floor. As you're here, pull the back of the ribs down. Don't let those ribs pop off the mat because then you'll be using your lower back too much. Now we're going to keep everything still in the spine and tap a single toe to the floor. So we're gonna go ahead and inhale, tap the right toe down, exhale, lift it back up. Now we're gonna alternate sides. Now I want you to think about how you're doing this. I want you to think of moving from the hip joint right here. So the shape of your knee does not change. A lot of times what I see is this. I see people bending at the knee and then just doing that to tap down. I want you to keep that knee and that 90-degree angle so that you're moving right at that hip. And that's gonna really activate those core muscles. So inhale, tap, exhale, lift. 2 more each side, tap and lift. If you find it hard to keep your ribs down, you may wanna prop your head and shoulders up on a pillow and that will help drop those ribs a little bit more. Good. And then place both feet on the floor. All right, we're gonna move into what's called an abdominal curl. So your feet are gonna stay grounded here, We're gonna keep that pelvis in neutral. Arms will come up to the ceiling. You might wanna walk your feet a little farther away from the body. And on your exhale, you're gonna come up from the rib cage. So that's your point of movement. As you lift up, your arms come down by your sides. And then you inhale, lower back down. And exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So when you're moving right at the rib cage, your head and your neck is not cranking up. It's just moving with the spine. So you shouldn't feel any tension in your neck or in your shoulders. Good, exhale. And the breath here is important because the exhale really helps to activate your core and your abdominals. So that's why it's good to exhale when you come up and inhale to lower. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, nice work. Last one, lift and lower. All right, bring your arms down by your sides now. And we're gonna walk the feet a little closer to the body for some rolling bridge. So legs are in a parallel position. Arms gonna come back down by your sides. Now, we're gonna start with that pelvic rocking motion and continue to peel the spine off the mat one bone at a time. So take a deep breath in here, inhale. On your exhale, start to flatten the low back and peel the spine off. We have each vertebra coming off one bone at a time. As you lift into a nice straight line, you'll feel those glutes working and engaged. And then we lower back down, again, bone by bone, as we release the spine and then the pelvis down. Good, let's keep that moving. Exhale, we roll up. Good, peel up. Keep those legs in that parallel position instead of coming out to the sides, and then roll back down. Something that can help with those legs staying in parallel is pressing into the big toes so that we keep that connection into the inner thigh and into the midline so that we're not rolling onto the sides of the feet and rolling those knees out as well. Good, let's do 2 more here. Exhale. Roll up, lift. And this is a great exercise for that spinal mobility. So we always want to make sure we're getting this yummy movement in our spine for spinal health and really body health overall. So go ahead and lift the hips up here and bridge. You can either stay here lifted, holding this bridge position again, using the glutes to lift up. Or we can come to the single leg marching. This is where we're gonna lift one leg at a time without shifting the hips, the pelvis, or the rest of the body. So it puts a little bit more focus onto a single glute balancing move as you lift that opposite leg. And again, just stay with both feet down if holding that double leg bridge is better for you here. Let's do 1 more each side. Good. And last side on the left. Good, lower that foot down. Roll the spine to come all the way down. Nice. All right, bring your knees into your chest. Maybe rock the hips and the knees side to side. All right, go ahead and roll to your side now. And we're gonna come up into an all fours position. So we're gonna come onto the hands and knees. And when we do that, we have our shoulders right over our wrists and our knees right under our hips. So from here, we're gonna move into what's called cat and cow. It's another great spinal mobility exercise. So we're gonna inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, and we arch the spine. And then we exhale around the spine. So pull your belly up, drop the tailbone down to the floor, drop your head, and then come through center as you come into that cow position again. And then we exhale round. Good, inhale through neutral into cow. We call this cow or camel. And then exhale round, because you're imagining you're that Halloween cat in that nice rounded back position. Let's do 1 more. Inhale through center. And exhale round. Good, come back to a flat back position. Now, what I want you to feel like is what you feel like when you are laying on your back on the mat, which is where we just were. So when you're here, right, I don't want you sinking into the shoulders or dropping the belly like this. I really want you to stay lifted up. Feel your belly pulling in and up towards your lower back without really doing this. So you still want to keep that flat back. but pull the low belly in. All right, from here, I want you to do, we're gonna do we're gonna do a leg reach first, then we're gonna add on to that. So we're gonna do opposite leg or alternating leg reaches. I'm gonna get it one of these times. All right, so now from here, I want you to lift your right leg off the mat. You're gonna extend it out back behind you. Now, notice here, did you open the leg and the hip out to the side? If so, drop the hip so the hip faces the floor, and then you're using your glute to lift that leg up. All right, and then lower that leg down. We switch to the other side. So left leg lifts and reaches. Good, and then we lower. Good, lift, extend, and lower. Good, reach, and lower. Good, one more each side. Staying nice and stable from crown of the head to the pelvis. Good, reach, and lower. Good, now if you want to add on to that, we're going to extend the right leg, and then we extend the opposite arm. So left arm is going to reach forward, right leg reaches back. Pull that core in and up into the center, and then feel that reach of fingers and toes apart. Lower that arm and leg down. Let's switch other side. So left leg back, right arm forward, reach, and then we lower. Good. And again, other side, reach. Good, and lower. Check in with that core, check in with that belly. Have you let the back arch? If so, lift it up, reach, and lower. Good, one more, other side, reach, and lower. All right, we're gonna add on one more thing here, which is a knee to nose. So we're gonna send that right leg back. Good, reach it nice and long. We're gonna take an inhale here. On the exhale, we're gonna round the spine, bring knee to nose. Inhale, send it away, reach. Exhale, round. If you want something a little more challenging, add the left arm. So inhale, reach the left arm forward, right leg comes back. Exhale, round knee to elbow. Inhale, send it away, lengthen. Exhale, round. Good, 3 more, whether you've got both hands down or one leg and one arm reaching. Good, last 2. Last 1. Good, lower that arm and leg down. We do same thing on the other side. So this time left leg will reach back. Let's start with both hands down first. Take an inhale here. Exhale, round, knee to nose. Inhale, send it away. Exhale, round. Good, now keep that moving. Do you want to add that right arm? If so, do that here. Exhale, it would come knee to elbow. Good, inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, round. Good, 3 more, 3. Nice work, 2. And last 1. Good, and bring it down. All right. So let's go ahead and sit onto the heels, and then we're gonna swing our legs around. So we are gonna come into a seated position facing the end of our mats. So from here, we're gonna do what's called seated half rollbacks. So for this one, we're gonna start bent knees here with feet flat on the mat, hands behind the thighs. Now you're imagining again, you are still on the mat with your spine, right? So you don't wanna be seated here. We don't wanna be arching too much. We're right in that center, that nice neutral spine alignment. All right, so we're gonna take our inhale here in this tall spine. We're gonna come back to this position during the movement multiple times. And then you exhale, the hands can stay on the thighs as you just extend the arms back, scoop the belly. So think of a round spine, a C curve from crown of the head to the tailbone. And then you come back up, roll back up to seated. Good. And you exhale, extend the arms, scoop the belly, roll the spine back. And then as you come up, you continue to scoop the belly back as you roll the spine back up, lift tall. Now the hands behind the thighs are a nice support if it's challenging for you to come up and down without the hands, without that support, that extra way to lift you back up. If you want to try to bring the arms forward, you can do that and just move that spine. So that takes a little bit more abdominal strength. So you just start wherever is best for you, as long as you're getting that correct movement, that correct alignment. Good, and lift. Let's do 2 more just like that. Good, and lift. Now on this next one, I want you to bring it back and hold it there. So you want to hold the C curve. The hands can be here, the hands can be forward. I just want you to hold this here. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. Inhale into the ribs. Exhale, try to deepen that core, belly button to spine. Good, inhale again. Exhale, deepen. Last one, inhale, deep breath in. And exhale, deepen that core. Good, and then we roll the spine all the way up to seated. You can round over the legs, stretching the arms forward. Good, and then come all the way back up. All right, we're gonna take a really quick break. So go ahead and take any stretches that you'd like. We're gonna grab a quick sip of water as well, and I'll meet you right back here for the rest of class. All right, so we're still in this seated position here. This time I want you to either, again, hold on to the thighs or bring the arms forward. We're gonna roll all the way down to the mat. Now I want you to think of doing this with control instead of just flopping down. So we're gonna, on the exhale, start to tuck that tailbone under and control this movement. So the slower you go, the more control it takes, the more of those abdominals you're using. Good, until you come all the way down to the mat. Now stay here on the mat. We're gonna bring the hands behind the head for crisscross. Now we're gonna start with the feet on the floor. Now with the hands behind the head, the elbows are a little bit on the wider side, and we're gonna find a rotation in the upper body. So what you wanna do is start to lift the upper body up. Exhale, twist the upper body to the right, pull that right leg in, almost like you're trying to touch knee to elbow, and then lower foot down, come back to center. Exhale, twist other side. Good, inhale, lower. Exhale, twist, and lower. Now I want you to notice, are you twisting your pelvis and your lower torso? If you are, keep it nice and steady and think about just rotating that upper body. That's gonna work those obliques. Exhale. And if you don't know what your obliques are, they are the abdominals on the sides of your body. Good. Really good for rotation. Good. Exhale. Now we're gonna bring both legs to tabletop, or you can keep them on the floor if that crisscross was very challenging for you. Otherwise, you want to add on and you can lift and twist, this time reaching opposite leg long. Good, come back to center, switch other side. Good. So this is just that next level. Again, we're not moving fast here, just moving with control, nice and slow. Good, almost think of putting or reaching armpit towards knee instead of elbow. That will keep the focus on rotating the torso and not just bending at the shoulder to bring the elbow closer to the knee, if that makes sense. One more on the other side. Good. And then lower your head down, bring the knees into the chest. Just rock side to side. All right, you can either roll onto your side to come back up to seated or rock yourself up to seated for what's called seated spine stretch. So we're gonna extend the legs. Now this can be hard for a lot of people because we wanna start in this tall position. So first you can think of kind of pulling your glutes apart to sit up a little taller on the sitting bones. And you can also bend the knees. So this is a great modification and what I recommend for most people because it's hard for people to keep their legs straight and sit up tall. So I'm gonna bend my knees as well today. We're gonna bring the arms forward. So we've got that tall spine here. Now on the inhale, we're gonna make believe we're peeling our spine off the wall one bone at a time. And then eventually the upper body starts to reach forward. You pull the pelvis and the low belly back towards the wall, and then you stack the spine back up, shoulders down. Good, chin to chest. Peel the spine off the wall, reach the upper body forward, and then stack back up and lift. So it's called spine stretch, as you can imagine, because we're getting this opposition in the spine as the lower spine pulls back and stays connected to that imaginary wall. The upper spine reaches forward and away. So you really feel like you're stretching your spine longer. Okay, let's do 2 more. Good, and then we stack back up that imaginary wall. And last one, coming forward. Good, and all the way back up and lift. All right, we're gonna swing to face forward first and then come to lay on your side. So we're gonna do what's called side lying leg work. And here, you want to imagine that you're still in that neutral spine, and you don't want to imagine it. You do want to be in that neutral spine, but along the back edge of your mat. So from your elbow or your head all the way to your pelvis is lined up at that back edge of your mat so that you know that you're not kind of rounding forward like this. And we want to make sure the hips and the shoulders are stacked on top of each other. So we don't want to let this top hip come back, keep it stacked right on top of the bottom hip. All right, this bottom leg can stay slightly bent. And reach this top leg nice and long so the toes and the knee are pointing forward. Now pull the belly in and up. So there's a tendency to kind of just let the upper body release here, but I really want you to stay connected into that core here and almost feel like you're lifting your waistline up off the mat as well. And from there, now you can start to move that top leg, lifting and lowering. So in Pilates, there's always this connection into the core center here. What do we call our core powerhouse, which is basically like a cylinder from the tops of the shoulders to the glutes. And this is always, we're trying to keep this connected a lot of the time. And that's what's going to give us our power to move the rest of our body into these bigger movements. Let's do 3 more. 2. Good, last one. Good, now you come back to hip height. So the leg is reaching out right from the hip bone. And then you want to start to do small circles. So you're trying to do this without rocking that pelvis. All right, we're trying to keep it nice and steady. And just small circles about the size of a dinner plate. And really reaching and lengthening. So really point through that toe. And then hold it and we reverse the circle. Good. Now, keep the eyes facing forward. It's really common to want to look down at that leg, which you can glance every so often and just make sure it looks like everything is in alignment, but try to keep the eyes facing forward and try to feel the movement instead of watching. That'll keep your head in that nice straight line. Good, and then go ahead and release. All right, last exercise we're gonna do on this side, front and back kick. So reach this leg nice and long. We flex through the ankle, we kick forward, and then we point and pull back. Think of squeezing the glute, but don't tip the hips forward. So we bring it forward, kick, flex the ankle, point, and pull back. Good, kick, and bring it back. Good, so we've got this nice length in the hamstring as we bring the leg forward, and then we've got glute engagement as we pull back. Good, kick, and back. Good, 3 more, 3. Last 2. Last one, good, and bring it back. All right, lower that leg down. We're gonna switch it all to the other side. So go ahead and bring yourself up, swing the legs over, and we come down on this side. All right, so again, lining yourself on the back edge of your mat. We start by bending this bottom leg, pull the core in, reach that top leg long, and we lift and lower. Again, that leg stays in that parallel position. Toes and knee pointing forward. Good, that's it. Shoulders stacked, so try not to, round forward in that upper body. Good, 3 more, 3, 2, and 1. Good, hold here. We've got those small circles now. Again, keeping that upper body nice and still. This definitely takes some practice to do these circles without shifting the body, right? I still feel sometimes that wobbling, and it's really about staying connected into your core. Good, reverse it. And the more you practice, the more it makes sense. So give it some time. Good, let's do 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Good, now keep that leg at hip height, toes and knee pointing forward. Flex through the ankle, we bring it forward, we kick, and then we point and pull that leg back. Good, kick, and point, engage that glute. Good, forward and back. Good, forward and back. 3 more sets, 3. Last 2. And last one, good, and bring it back. All right, so go ahead and sit on up. And we're actually gonna come onto our bellies now. So I'm actually just gonna swing my legs over to the other side. Whichever side you're at, go ahead and just roll on over onto your belly, and we're gonna get what's called extension. So we like to move our spine in all different directions in Pilates. So this is gonna be a nice opening and lifting in the front body as we engage through the back body, extending our spine. So hands are gonna come underneath the shoulders, legs are long, forehead's on the mat, shoulders are really sliding down, so feel that engagement. Now legs are a little wider than hip distance apart, glutes are engaged, and your belly button is pulling in and up off the mat. So you're imagining if there was a little egg underneath your belly button, you would not be able to crack it. Now, it actually would not be possible in this position, but it's just a way for you to think about that engagement. All right, so now go ahead and press into the hands as you start to lift yourself up into that little baby back bend. So we want to think of staying lengthened through our spine. You can lower it back down. And then again, press into the hands. Elbows stay close to the body as you press up. So the elbows will remain slightly bent as you lift. And this is not quite, this is not an up dog that you might be used to in yoga. It's more like a cobra exercise, but really staying engaged in your front body as well, especially in your abdominals. So let's do 2 more. Press into the hands and lift. Good, and then lower. Good, last one, connect through the shoulders, pull the belly in, lift up. Good, lengthen, and then lower it all the way down. All right, so we're gonna do some single leg kicks. So prop yourself up on your forearms. Now from here, you wanna have your elbows right underneath your shoulders, and your legs are now close together. Now, we are not letting the belly rest on the mat. We wanna keep it lifted, okay? So your pelvis is still pressing down into the floor, but the lower belly is lifted up. Shoulders slide down, really engage through that upper body by sliding the forearms towards you, towards your body. Okay, holding that, we start to flex through your right ankle, kick in towards your glute, point the toe, reach away. Switch other side, kick, and reach, kick, reach. So you should feel this connection into your hamstring, the back of your top part of your leg, as well as your glute. That is what is kicking that leg in. Good, kick, and reach. So now check back in with your core. Make sure you're still lifting in and up, and then also pressing your upper body away from the floor so that you're not sinking down into the shoulders. Good. 1 more each side. Good, and then we lower all the way down, and then bring your hands onto your shoulders, press yourself up. We're gonna come into a kneeling plank position. And you can either hold that or we're gonna do some push-ups here. So you're gonna start to bring your upper body forward so your shoulders are right over your wrists. And then walk your knees back a little bit and find a nice straight line from your shoulders to your knees, right? So you have to engage the glutes by pressing them forward and then lift up through your core, press yourself away with your upper body. Either hold the plank position, or if you want to do some push-ups, you'll bend your elbows, keeping them close to your side, staying in a straight line, and then exhale, press yourself back up. So you don't have to come all the way to the floor. I want you to only go so low as you can without changing the shape of the body. So if you start to drop the hips or sink too much down towards the floor without that support, go ahead and stop there and then press yourself back up. Good, we have 3 more here. 3, 2, last one. Good, press it up. All right, bring the knees under you. Nice job. We're gonna send the legs off to the side, facing forward for Mermaid. So go ahead and keep them here, but find that tall spine lifted. Now bring the arms out to the side. So I want you to think of growing tall out of your waistline. And you're gonna take the hand that's not on the side of the legs, bring it down to the floor, lift up, lengthen first, and then you reach over. Maybe you can come down to your forearm for a little deeper stretch. Then as you come up through center, use your breath, exhale, lift up tall, and then come over to the other side for that counter stretch. Good, lift through center. Good, hand down. You can drop that elbow. Make sure you're staying out of the shoulder, so really pull that shoulder down your back. Good, that'll connect to your powerhouse. Keep everything connected towards your center. Good, and over. And last counter stretch on this side, and lift. Good, go ahead and sweep your legs around to the other side. So both legs now over to the other side. All right, grow tall through that spine, draw the arms out to the T. Lengthen through the body first, draw the arm up, lengthen even more, and then we come over. I'm gonna walk my hand out a little farther. And it's important to remember as you're doing Mermaid, not to round the upper body forward. So you're not looking at the floor, your shoulders are not facing the floor. Everything stays facing forward, almost like you're moving between two panes of glass. So if you have one in front of you and one behind you, you're not touching the panes of glass because you're moving in between them in a balanced way as opposed to leaning forward or back. Hope that makes sense. Good, and over. Good, and lift. Let's do one more set. Just a beautiful way to stretch out the side body and get a little more mobility in the spine. All right, last thing, I want you to go ahead and lay down. We're just gonna do a quick stretch. So lay fully down onto your mat. Use that roll down that we used at the beginning to control that movement down. And then lay your legs long and then pull the right knee into the chest. Give it a squeeze, and then we're gonna take the right arm out to the side as you twist that right leg across to the left side. And you can look over that right shoulder. This is our supine twist. So a really nice lower back stretch. Release through your shoulders, any tension that you're holding. Just let it drip away. And then come back through center. Pull that leg in, extend it to the floor, switch to the other side. Good, so go ahead and cross that leg over. Look over that left shoulder. Relax through those shoulders. Good, one more breath. Good, bring it back to center and then extend both arms, both legs opposite directions. Take a deep breath in here and then exhale, let it go. All right, you can bring your knees to your chest if you want to rock up to seated. Otherwise, you can stay on the floor and get some more stretches. I'm going to link to some stretches as well. So I'll link to a great stretching workout here. And then I'll also link to another beginner workout here as well if you wanted to check those out after this. But would love to hear what you thought of this. Would love to know if you are a true beginner. And if you are, if you have any questions, or maybe if you're coming back to this just to get a refresher of those foundations. And again, if you have a chance to check out that website link and help us out in any way you can, we would greatly appreciate it. So thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you here on the mat next time. Take care.